Alright everybody, hope you're having a good Sunday. I wanted to come on do a video. This isn't like prison related, but I wanted to come on and do it because obviously it shows like the kind of life that people can have when they come out of prison. So the thing I wanted to talk about is taking my son to the Allan McGregor testimonial match against Newcastle United. But before I get into that, I want to say thanks to the people that are subscribing, the people that are leaving positive comments and all that kind of stuff. And like I just want to say like there was a guy that was saying about somebody that was writing something like on the Sean Atwood chat. I just don't entertain people like that because one, they're anonymous. Do you know what I mean? You'll be on there arguing all night and you would end up pulling the hair out your head. um, and like in prison, they're what we call window warriors. So like somebody who knows you have no access to them, and they're just shouting the craziest things at you. They're gonna do this to you. They're gonna do that. Blah blah blah. But the reason that they're shouting it is because they know you're never gonna meet them. Do you know what I mean? So basically, they're just no worth the brain cells. Do you know what I mean? They're probably staying in their ma's basement, getting their arse wiped. Do you know what I mean? Just fools. Do you know what I mean? But I appreciate the support and all that. And it is good to hear that obviously somebody who's like had the life I've had can actually like brighten somebody's day up. Do you know what I mean? So my wee boy, right? He's only 12, and he pure loves Allan McGregor, right? The old Rangers goalkeeper, one of the best goalkeepers we've ever had. And he was going goalkeeping all the time. I was taking him to playing goals and like hitting shots into him, taking penalties into him, like kinda sharpening his skills. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously when you're that age, you look up to people. There's people you model yourself on and all that kind of stuff. So it's good that at that age my son has a positive role model that way, because obviously, as I said in some of my videos, when I was that age, like my role models were all the wrong people, 100%. So like I'd take him to play football, and like I bought him, I bought him a pair of, see the gloves that Allan McGregor has, they're called Calliers, right? I can't remember how much they were, but they're like they're no cheap. They're like £100. I think the cheapest pair's like £100 or something. Got him them for his Christmas last year. Got him. I can't mind if I when I got him. In fact, I got him a pair of Adidas Predator goalie gloves, the same one that the Argentina keeper had. Can't mind the guy's name. And it's quite funny that my son's right into being in goals because when I was a kid, like I used to play football a lot, and the young offenders didn't really bother with football until I went to jail. And it's quite weird that he got into that because I never really told him this, you know. So it's quite mad how like father like son sort of thing. So the Allan McGregor testimonial was July this year, right? And I remember in the months leading up to it, like things were just happening in my life that could have sent me into prison if I had reacted the wrong way. And the kind of things that were happening were, so like my ex-partner has got issues with substance and alcohol misuse, and so is my older brother, and everything that was happening was linked to one of the two people, right? There was actually one point where I was going to Greg's one morning, 7:30 in the morning, right? And I had my son with me, and this guy drove up in a motor behind me. Now I know this guy, right? I knew him from Pullman. Type of guy who, if he smells fear on you, he's gonna do whatever he wants to do. You know, the dies type. But the funny thing is, I knew him from Pullman. I was in the segregation unit in Pullman with him, and knew things that it wasn't like this in Pullman. It wasn't walking about. I'm not saying I was either, but he definitely wasn't. He was older than me as well. So he drove up behind me one day when I had my kid. This is just an unwritten rule. You don't do this to nobody, no matter what the problem is, right? Because you're just basically setting the bar for what's to happen next. Because I always say to people, you don't confront anybody when they're with their family, their kids. You don't go to their doors, because then what you're basically saying is, well, it's alright to do that to me. So I've always kind of been a big believer in that. So he drives up behind me and he rolls his window down in his motor and he's like, I want a word with you. And I just looked at his eyes and just knew he was out his box, right, on some sort of like Valium or something like that, like just like dodgy shit, right? And I'm not going to lie, I was like, get to fuck you, if you know where to find me. I'm walking about this area every day. If you've got anything you want to speak to me about, you fucking date when I'm myself. And I walked away. So he's jumped out the motor and he's running up behind me, right? Remember, I've got my 12-year-old son with me, right? And he was just being totally confrontational. And my son was standing behind me and he had his arm on my wrist and he was like, Dad, please don't fight him, Dad, please don't fight him. But I wasn't going to, right, because I had my son. But see, if he'd have made one wrong move, I would have done what I would have had to have done. Do you get me? So I was basically saying hundreds of shit to him. Like, maybe this was the wrong way to go about it, but see, when I'm trying to protect my son, there's just, all bets are off. It doesn't matter. There's only one rule there, and it's protecting him. And he was offering me a square go and all that in front of my kid, right? He's like, moan then not, but the way he was holding his arms up, he just looked like a fucking idiot. He was holding his arms like this, instead of like that, right? Like a boxer stance, right? And I was just like, get the fuck, you fucking idiot, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you're a fucking bum. I says, you see me myself then if you went to fucking say blah, blah, blah. But there was no violence came it, because I do think listen, he knows I'm no my brother, not I mean, my brother's like no the same anymore. Like, the drugs have wrecked him, man, and he's had a lot of stuff happen in his house that it's just like, he found his girlfriend dead next to him and all that. Like, he's found my pal dead in his toilet. So he's found 3 dead bodies in his house through drug use in the past 12 years. So it's all impacted him in some way or another. So when all this kind of stuff was happening, I kept like thinking to myself, like, fuck's sake, this McGregor game's about 2 months away. Am I going to make it to that? Am I even going to book to see this? Like, because I'm not going to lie, it was kind of getting to me a bit. But obviously I made it to the game, right? And I went with 2 boys from my area. I've known them all my life. And we go there, because it was a sellout, right? It was a fucking sellout, man. And I go to the turnstile, my fucking QR codes weren't working. My 2 pals just went right in. And I'm like, fuck. And I was like, this is not happening, man. It had to be this game, didn't it? So one of the stewards was like, you'll need to go to the ticket office. And I'm like, fucking hell, right? This isn't going to go well, because my account with Rangers was in a different name, right? Because I obviously been in prison half my life, right? See, you know how autofill and all that, right? I'm no used to dealing with all this shit, right? And when I had set up my account, I pressed the autofill for my doctor rather than my name, right? And my doctor's got an Asian name, and I'm like, they're gonna be like that. Aye, right, who the fuck are you, know what I mean? And I just thought something's got to go wrong here, so we walked round to the ticket office, right? And the fucking queue was a mile long, mate. All sorts of Geordies in it and all that. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, this is, and we got there just bang on kick-off, right? Usually I'm in early, but we got there for just kick-off and then had to go to the ticket office and I was like, fucking hell, man. I was anxious as fuck, man, because my wee boy was just, he's mildly on the spectrum, right? He's got a touch of Asperger's, and I'm just like, and I was getting a bit ratty, because I'd had a few, I know I'd had a few afore, obviously had a few afore, and I don't think it's the same got a game if you've not had a few, man. Obviously I know my limits now as well, but do you know what I mean? Especially having my son with me, I just have a couple, like to get a wee charge, no like fucking getting wrecked, can't remember things and falling about and arguing with people. I don't do that anymore. So I go to the ticket office and I'm like, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. My brain was just on fire. And my gut was going and everything. I was just like, oh no, if I don't get into this, I'd have been devastated because it's my wee boy's idol. Do you know what I mean? And go to the teller and she gave me paper tickets, which was even better for me because we got to keep them as souvenirs. He's blue tacked them on his wall. Do you know what I mean? But we've walked back round and we go in and I was like, fucking thank fuck. Do you know my wee boy? When we got into the stadium, just started crying a wee bit, do you know? And I was just like, thank fuck, man. And we got beat 2-1, but and they Newcastle fans gave them their due, man. They showed us up, they sang the whole 90 minutes, man. They were amazing, do you know what I mean? So shout out to them for Newcastle or Newcastle supporters. You heavy showed us up that day, man. And that was Jack, so the new Rangers keeper, the guy took McGregor's place, Jack Butland. He came on the second half and gave him his due, man. He's coming on leaps and bounds. Well, not coming on, he's been brilliant for us, therefore, because sometimes I panic when there's a new keeper coming in. I'm like, fuck, man. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not as if you've got like 6 keepers, like if maybe you could have like maybe 6 strikers or whatever, 5, 3, whatever, but you can only have like maybe 2 and maybe the backups maybe no as good, whatever, I don't know, but so McGregor done his lap on and all that shit and I'm pure like, we need to try and see him because my wee boy was writing him letters and pure going on about him all the time and fucking get pictures of him on the wall and all this kind of stuff and bought him like a big McGregor flag and know how the scarves you get. The like if there's a Champions League game, a cup final game, that's like a personalised scarf. It will have like Newcastle v Rangers, Allan McGregor Testimonial with McGregor's face on the scarf and all. One of them. They're good keepsakes to have because this links in with my prison stuff because obviously I'm creating memories for my kid, right? A childhood made up of making these dreams come true, do you know what I mean? As best as I can because I didn't have that. My dad would have took himself to a Rangers game, but don't get me wrong, I wasn't really into football as a kid. I was just into climbing trees and fucking whatever. But wee boys do back then, do you know, that I don't see much of them doing now. But it's just amazing to be able to do this stuff for them and fulfil my role as a parent and as a father. Because obviously my dad wasn't really much of one, and my kid's mum, she's out the picture. She doesn't have any contact with him, so sounds a bit like history repeating itself a wee bit. But we waited about at the end to try and see if we could see McGregor, but he'd already left. But we waited till it was about 11:30, maybe 12 o'clock before they started coming out. So there was all sorts of players coming out, and I'm glad I waited because he got his photo took with like Sakala and Balogun and wee Raskin came out. We were looking for them and all, but Raskin we didn't get a photo with him. But anyway, know what I mean? Can't cry about that. Photos took with like a good few of them came out. Know what I mean? And because my wee boy, I know I'd bought him the same he wanted the same football boots as Sakala, and I got him them with his name on them for his Christmas and all that. Yeah, well, he's no his name, his initials in a Scotland flag. You get them personalised. They were Nike ones. They were like kind of goldy coloured or something. So that was one of his favourite players as well. So got his pictures taken of him, and here, this is the best bit about it, right? I videoed this, right? I maybe put it online one day, but I'm not really a fan. I'm not really want to put videos of my kid on my YouTube. You know what I mean? Because if people were coming on and making stupid comments, man, it would just set me off. You know what I mean? Christopher done a video. This is his too funny as video. Christopher's done that to him. Good goal against Celtic. You set up Joe Hart very good, and that's Sakala done that to him. I hope to get another soon. And we were in stitches, do you know what I mean? They hear any Celtic fans that are watching or whatever, you know what it's like, you know what I mean? Like we're no fucking like we're no bitter and all that shit. Obviously watching it 90 minutes, man, I'm not gonna lie, I hate getting fucking beat off them, but I imagine it's the same for them as well, do you know what I mean? It's fucking swings and roundabouts, it comes and goes, doesn't it? Fuck's sake, need to be fucking... I can't be in conversations with anybody, it's just no listening to any other point of view other than the one that they think's right. Do you know what I mean? So, is what it is, innit? But that was just one of the best things that I've ever done in my life. I would say that just taking him to that game, um, and just making that happen for him. So hopefully one day we might get him to what do you call it? Know how like the 5-star events and all that. And if McGregor's there, can try and get a ticket to get him to go and see him and all that. Because he would love it. Know what I mean? We'd went up to see the training ground a few times, right? We were just try to hunt him down to get my wee boy get a picture with him, because that's nobody can ever take that away from him. That'll be a memory for life. Do you know what I mean? Um, and I think Christopher was kind of thing about it as well, because like when I first started following football, I was like a keeper aficionado. Like I was always like studying the keepers, like fucking obviously when I was a wee boy, the first Rangers keeper I remember was big Chris Woods, and obviously Gorham and all that, right? But then after Walter Smith went away, it was like fucking Charbonnet, then Stefan Klos, one of the best ever, I think, man. He's quite small for a keeper as well, but he was a fucking good keeper, brilliant keeper. Anthony Amy and all that, so was writing about it, but once I hit my recall and that, I just kind of fell away from football. Not funnily enough, right? Listen to this. This is a wee funny story. It's not really a story, but see when I was talking about in one of my videos about going to Glasgow Sheriff Court from prison. Do you know who I seen, right? So seeing Glasgow Sheriff Court, right? There's all these underground cells, right? They're under the ground, but there's a back car park. You go in, like a big loading dock where the vans go in, right? If you're appearing for custody. And anybody that's been in Glasgow Sheriff will know this, right? See across for the toilets, there's these, I don't know if they're protection cells or like cells for like more vulnerable people, right? Or fucking VIP cells, whatever the fuck they are, right? And we all went round, we all get took round maybe 3 or 4 days, know what I mean? And I've walked out, see when I've went in and done a piss and came back out the cell, back out the toilet, who's in the cell facing the toilet with the big perspex screen with the grill on it? Fucking Craig White. And I just done that. Oh, what? Just pointed right at him, man. He was just standing pure look at me. He looked rough. Hair all fucking, he'd like long kinda, his hair had grew in, and he just he looked like he'd fucking just came off a bender, that like just fucking woke him up and dragged him off a fucking, like a heavy sesh. That was surreal, man. I couldn't believe it. I just seen him straight away, man, and I was like, no way, oh what? Big Craig White, man, and the sheriff. Fall for grace, kid, Fuck. Know what I mean? Slumming it with us. Fucking mental, man. But fucking raging, man. I went to go and get beer for the football today, and see it's already 1-0 to Aberdeen, man. Gutted. I had to pin the score on my phone because fucking went and got a couple of beer for the game, right? And then my Fire Stick, man, it's fucking updating or fucking, I don't know, it's doing something, so I can't watch fucking live telly. I'm like, fuck off, man. But fuck it, innit? I've had worse upsets in my life now, so um, so I'm got to go now and fucking do something. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch telly or something. Fuck it. But I hope you have a good Sunday. And as I said, shout out to all the positive people that are commenting and interacting with us and saying, leaving like nice comments and all that, because like we're always getting enough negativity in it, man. You don't fucking need any more, do you know what I mean? Like everybody's got their own shit going on, and you're always got to come up against arseholes, do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you're doing in life, you're just always going to come up against somebody who's got something to say. Do you know what I mean? Something negative to say, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I just switch off, man, because I've had enough of listening to negativity, man, do you know what I mean? And I just don't need it in my life at all. Do you know what I mean? Because sometimes I think the longer you spend around negativity, the more it will affect your thinking, trust me. You could be the most positive person in the world, but see if you're living around people who are just constantly looking at the negatives, that's going to affect your mental health. Trust me, I've been there, do you know. Before you know it, you're going to be talking yourself into something instead of talking yourself out of it. Because see, when you've got good stuff running about you, you talk yourself out of any sort of negativity. Do you know what I mean? So stay positive and just fucking roll with it, know what I mean? So take care everybody, cheers for the support, and I'll see you next time I'm on.